I would also tell them, as I have done many times, not to think about being a flutist, but to be musicians. This opens your field of action and the possibilities to be happy as a person.
Hello, welcome to the Flute 360 podcast, where we incorporate a panoramic view of flute-related topics. I am your host, Heidi K. Begay, and this is episode 105, an interview with Carlos Cano Escribá. Founded in Dallas, Texas in 1996, the Carolyn Nussbaum Music Company is renowned for its international service for flutists of all levels. The Carolyn Nussbaum Music Company is your premier resource for everything flute. Their selection of flutes, piccolos, low flutes, and head joints from dozens of makers is truly remarkable. Also, their offerings of sheet music, instrumental accessories, teaching and health resources are unmatched. Their in-house staff offer an unparalleled level of expert knowledge and personal service, with the repair staff certified in all major brands. Follow the Carolyn Nussbaum Music Company through Instagram, Facebook, and Tumblr to be updated with the latest news. Check out their website at fluteforyou.com. The Carolyn Nussbaum Music Company is truly your one-stop flute shop. Welcome, everyone, to another Flute 360 podcast interview. Today, my inspiring guest is Carlos Cano Escribá, who is a flutist, composer, arranger, and music producer. He is the flute professor at the Real Conservatorio de Musica de Madrid, and he is a Powell artist. Hi, Carlos.
Hi, Heidi.
How are you?
Fine, and you?
Good.
My daughter is here with me. My English is very bad, sorry.
Oh.
But she helped me.
Oh, no, that's going to be great. There are no apologies needed. You're going to be wonderful.
Okay.
Wonderful. Well, I so appreciate the time that you're giving us, and I can't wait to pick your brain.
Thank you for you.
Oh, you're so kind.
Okay.
So can you tell the listeners a little bit about yourself?
Okay.
So anything you'd like to share, like your musical background, your flute career, anything you'd like to share?
I am from Cuba. I come from a family of musicians and artists who for a century have been emigrating from Spain and Cuba on the other way around. I have lived in Spain for 26 years, and I wonder if I will end this journey or if my daughter will be able to keep this family tradition. I began my musical studies in Cuba, and later I have continued to learn in Spain. Although the way of understanding the music is closely related to my native country. In Cuba, the border between popular music and classical music are not as marked as in Europe, and that's exactly the point where I would like to make music. I want to be able to play Bach with Judgment, but I also want to play a Charlie Parker standard with confidence. By the way, currently I am a professor and director of the Conservatorio of Ciudad Real. I will start teaching at the Superior Conservatorio of Madrid in the coming September. That is where I would like to start teaching with the kind of thinking as I said earlier. For example, Dutilleux's sonatine is built with symmetric scale. And symmetric scales are part of the everyday language of jazz musicians. You can learn both things at the same time. And in the same way, Latin music is pure rhythm. And if you control that rhythm, you got a big Dylan solvent with Bach or Stravinsky, Messiaen, or in the orchestral genre. I want my students to be able to play our score, but also the ability to join other musicians or a band in a bar stage and just play without a score by ear. Even after they choose which style to follow, I am sure that knowledge will always be useful to them.
Lovely stated. I love it.
Thank you.
Thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yes. So I noticed that you play a Grandelia wooden flute by Powell. Did you choose the wooden flute to capture your native Cuban music better through this particular tone color?
I've been playing with a wooden Powell head for 20 years.
Okay.
When I tried this head, I was fascinated. For many years, I was hesitating to use a completely wooden flute. I was always afraid of losing power or clarity in the articulation. I'm not sure, but 5 years ago, I met my flute. I love her. So it's possible that in my subconscious, there is something that look for a connection with the music of Cuba. But without too much true, honestly, it's the sound that I like. By the way, the Powell family is the best.
Say that again? The Powell family is the best?
Yes.
Oh, yes. They are wonderful people.
Yes, the Powell family is the best.
Oh, that's very kind of you.
Mm-hmm.
I did a Flute 360 podcast series with Powell back in October, and I worked with Rachel Baker, the technician, and I got to talk with her, and Viviana Cuplido Wilson. Do you know her? She's a flutist in Arizona.
Yes, but no personal.
Oh, okay.
No personal.
Yeah, she's also a Powell artist too.
Yes.
So you have contributed a lot to the flute community, and not just as a performing artist, but also as an arranger, composer, and music producer. What lessons have you learned through these different roles, and how has it enhanced your flute playing?
I think it's too difficult to be an expert in everything, but with all those phases I do, I have a lot of fun. When you do all these things, you learn technical, practical issues, and acquire skill and experience. But above all, you grow as a person. That makes you lot free to feel and ease that others decide whether or not they like what you do, whether it's good or bad. But you have already done it. It's no longer up to you. Your mistake or the things you don't get are not frustration. They are goals that you still have to reach. If you understand that, your head does not become your enemies. The worst of all, by the way. And the flute is played with the head, and if your head is at ease, all you have to do is overcome the technical difficulties of a score or assimilate a language.
Oh, very cool. Neat. So you've been playing and collaborating with Aldo Mendez, who's a poet, and Hernan Mila, who's a pianist, in your group Velito Roja. Can you tell us about that?
Yes. In 2012, my friend and I, Aldo Mendez and Hernan Milla, made the album Donde Nace la Luz. This work primarily targeted children, but also solidarity purpose. During this period, we started collaborating together as producer, arranger, and composer, taking care of all the details related to the creation of any project. From creating music to preparing all the logistics of a recording session, editing a book, working on marketing, distribution, absolutely everything. finally, we're creating the label Veleta Roja. And so far, we have released Donde Nace la Luz, 20th Century Spanish Music for Flute and Piano in 2014, the book CD Canciones y Palabras in 2015. Actually, this project was Latin Grammy nominee. Por la Ribera de Paquito in 2017, recently in 2019, the DVD Sonidos que Cuentan.
Congratulations on your Grammy nomination.
Thank you.
I bet you were very pleased and happy.
Yes. Very, very happy.
Yeah, kudos. That's a huge achievement.
Yes.
So, are the majority of your poems in Spanish?
Sí, all the poems of Donde Nace la Luz and Canciones y Palabras are by Aldo Méndez. Yes, in many of those poems, you can feel the presence of Cuban. He uses specific word and Cuban slang like, for example, cocuyo, caimito. But there are also other poems where inspiration comes from a child's imagination.
Oh, neat. So each language has a natural flow of its own. Working specifically with a Cuban poet, how does the language affect the music that you produce together?
Our music in this world seeks to reinforce that Cuban is. Hernán is not Cuban. He is from Spain, from Toledo.
Oh, I apologize.
No. But he is sensitive and receptive enough to capture the spirit of this poem.
Okay.
In any case, our music is eclectic. We like to work with jazz musicians, world music and instruments of all kinds and different culture. Because of that, we bring our childhood memories. We always do a remembrance exercise of when we were. There is also another important element in all this. Aldo don't consider himself a poet, but a palabrero. It's an invention of his that could be translated as a word user. He's a great communicator, and on stage he dominates the public at his will. That's why we bought Sonidos que Cuentan on DVD. We don't make songs here anymore, but Aldo tells a story and Hernán and I improvised the music at the time. We recorded it live in a studio with a small audience among children and adults. This was a complex session because the shots are complete without cut and the children were very close and sometimes they made noise or wanted to participate in the story. Things that in a concert are acceptable and good, but here they could distract you and ruin the shot.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So what are some of the childhood memories? You mentioned that a couple times.
Maybe life in Cuba, the play with other child, the imagination of in the child imagination, maybe.
Sure. Yes, that youthful, childlike imagination that you're capturing that through the poetry.
Yes.
Neat. So you will be one of the guest artists at the Tampere Flute Fest at the end of April 2020. Do you have any advice for the students who will be competing and or performing at the festival?
So, Hernán and I are very happy and grateful to introduce ourselves for the first time as a duo in Finland. Hernán studied there for 5 years. So Finland is like his second homeland. So what can I say to young flutists? I applaud that they want to expose themselves to competition without fear. But in the competition, there is glory for just very few. And we cannot let it become a frustration for those who do not achieve that glory. Outside, you have to enjoy that stage and learn from it. I would also tell them, as I have done many times, not to think about being a flutist, but to be musicians. This opens your field of action and the possibilities to be happy as a person.
Oh, I got goosebumps hearing your answer. Very good.
Thank you.
Yes. Are there any last sentiments that you'd like to share with the listeners today?
I would like to share many things, but I think where I can be more useful is through music. Try to listen to my mother's proposal, and if you like it, you could contact by social network. I will be happy to listen to you and chat about what you want.
No, that's great. Is there anything else that you'd like to say before we end today's talk?
No, it's okay.
Okay. Thank you so much for your time, Carlos, and I really appreciate talking with you.
Okay, thank you, Heidi. See you later.
Today's sponsor is brought to you by J&K Productions. Did you know that not only are they a production company for podcasts, but they are a recording company for musicians? Any musical recording needs that you may have, J&K Productions can fulfill that need. They have all the necessary equipment and expertise to record your next flute recording for college or graduate auditions, competitions, summer festivals, or a flute album. J&K Productions can record any setup imaginable, from solo flute, small chamber, flute and piano, and much more. Consider J&K Productions for your next recording project. Contact them at jkproductions.media. Thank you for listening to the Flute 360 podcast. For more information, please visit HeidiKBigay.com. And if you enjoyed today's episode, please rate and review in the iTunes store. Let's talk about flute.